Welcome to the book of Melachim Aleph, chapter 19. We concluded last chapter speaking about the showdown between Eliyahu and the prophets of the Baal in Mount Carmel, where at the conclusion, after the fire came down and consumed Eliyahu's korban and he won the match off, so to speak, then Eliyahu took the 450 prophets of the Baal, which were very close to the hearts of Achav and Izebel, the wicked king and queen of Israel, and let's just say they were no longer alive after their encounter with Eliyahu. So Achav comes home. Now, these 450 Baal prophets were very close to the heart, specifically of the heart of Izebel. Remember, she's the daughter of a king in Lebanon, in Tzor, and so this is like her religion, and she used to feed them every day, so they were very close to her heart. They were her buddies, 450 of them Eliyahu knocked out. So she's not exactly happy. So Izebel here, Achav comes back. He tells Izebel, honey, those prophets of the Baal are no longer among us. And she's like, all right. She sends a emissary, a messenger to Eliyahu, and she says, within the next 24 hours, you will have the same fate of the prophets that you ended their lives. And so Eliyahu does not want to stay around to see Izebel take his own life. And he's like, okay, let me go see what I'm going to do with myself. He gets up, he walks to Be'ersheva, which is in the territory of Yehuda. And he leaves his assistant there. And he walks for a day. He sits under a tree. And very similar to the story of Yonah at the end of the book of Yonah, if you remember, he sits under a tree, and it says that he wants to die. It's just like he's not in a good place. And he says, Hashem, please take me. I'm no good from my forefathers. He's under that tree, and suddenly he wakes up and he sees an angel touching him. And the angel says, wake up and eat. And what does he see? Sounds like a delicious way to wake up. He sees a cake and a jar of water, and it says, wake up and eat. He's done eating, and then the angel comes again and says, no, you should eat more because you're about to go on a long way. And it says that eating and drinking lasted him 40 days and 40 nights. Does that number remind you of anything? Moshe going up to Har Sinai. So Eliyahu eats his cake and water and walks for 40 days and 40 nights without eating until he gets to Har HaElokim Horeb. Yes, you guessed it. It's the same place that Moshe did a similar thing, 40 days, 40 nights with no food. And Eliyahu ends up on the mountain of Hashem in Horeb. And he's there, and he goes to sleep, and Hashem, he's basically sleeping in a cave in Har Sinai, the same cave that Moshe was in. And suddenly Hashem's like, hey, Eliyahu, what are you doing here? And Eliyahu says very famous words, Kanoki neti la Hashem Elokei tzevakot. I have been very zealous in order to fight for Hashem. And then he starts actually speaking against Bnei Israel. The Midrash criticizes him for this. Ki azvu britcha b'nei Israel, your people Israel have abandoned your covenant. Et mizbechotecha harasu, they have destroyed the altars that are made for Hashem. Vet neviecha hargu b'cherev, they took the lives of your prophets. You, Hashem, your prophets have been taken by sword. Va'ivater ani levadi, all that remains is me alone, and even that they want to take. Izebel wants to kill me. And it says that actually Eliyahu is punished for speaking that way about Bnei Israel, even though Bnei Israel were pretty wicked at the time in terms of following Avodah Zarah. Nonetheless, Hashem says, okay, go outside, stand on the mountain. Very famous pasuk. We read this as the Haftorah, maybe of Kitisa. And it says, okay, you're going to go stand out on the mountain of Hashem. You're going to hear a very strong wind that can break the mountains and rocks. Hashem is not with that wind. Then there's going to be noise. Lo barash Hashem, lo baruach Hashem, lo barash Hashem. And after the fire, and then after the noise and the wind, fire, lo ba'esh Hashem, ve'achar ha'esh kol dmamadaka. After the fire, there will be silence. And the implication is that's where Hashem is not with the noise, not with the wind, but with the silence. Eliyahu hears that. He puts his face in his coat, and he suddenly goes and sees in the cave on Har Sinai, and once again he hears a voice saying, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "I have been zealous, and Bnei Israel have been misbehaving." And now comes the new verdict, as they call it in the news. It's called a new world order. We have now a new world order. Why? Hashem says to him, "Go now to the desert of Damascus." Think about it. He's down in the map at Har Sinai in the Sinai Peninsula. Now it says, "Go to Damascus." Ubata umashachta et Chazael lemelech Aram. Go to Damascus, Syria, and why don't you anoint a new king on Aram? That is very close to the Golan Heights. So you're going to be making three major changes, my dear friend Eliyahu. Number one, you will appoint Chazael, the king of Aram. Number two, you will appoint Yehu ben Nimshi to be the king of Israel. Number three, Elisha ben Shaphat from Avel Mecholah will be your successor. He will be the prophet on Israel. That is what's going to happen. You think that's good? You think it's exciting to have those three changes? Spoiler, sorry. The Chazael is going to use his sword to inflict terrible destruction, and whoever survives his sword will then be taken by Yehu's sword, and whoever's going to survive Yehu's sword is going to then be subjected to Elisha, and all that's going to be left in Israel are 7,000 people, all the knees that did not bend to the Baal, and all the mouths that did not kiss Avodah Zarah. So you would think he then goes to Chazael first. No. First he goes and he goes to Elisha. He finds Elisha. Elisha comes from a very established family. He's plowing his field. You know how you can get a little motorcycle, a bigger motorcycle, a Harley Davidson, a car, a pickup truck, a 18-wheeler. So it sounds like Elisha's had the 18-wheeler of the time, because he's plowing his field with 12 pairs of oxen. So that's a lot, 24 oxen. That's very expensive. And he's using that to plow his field. Wealthy family. And he comes, and Eliyahu comes and throws his garb, his coat onto him. And Elisha immediately leaves all the oxen, runs to Eliyahu, and it's like love at first sight. Elisha says, "Let me go say goodbye to my father and mother, and I will come with you and never return to them again. I will be your devoted student." And indeed, Eliyahu first rejects him. He's like, go and come back. And then Elisha takes the 12 oxen and makes a meal out of the oxen, takes all the very sophisticated plowing equipment made out of wood, uses that as fire, and cooks it for everybody that's there. And that is a new era. It's the era of Eliyahu and Elisha. What did we have here in Parak Yud Tet? We have Izebel wanting to take Eliyahu's life, Eliyahu fleeing to Har Sinai, 40 days, 40 nights. And then Hashem says, "Come back. You're going to appoint Chazael, king of Aram. You're going to appoint Yehu, king of Israel, and Elisha as your successor." Eliyahu meets Elisha. Love at first sight. Elisha abandons everything to come and be Eliyahu's beloved student. That is chapter 19 and Melachim Aleph. Guess what? Next chapter, Parak Chaf, is the penultimate, almost last chapter in the Parak. Stay tuned.